Hey, how's it going everybody? My name's Josh and today I'm doing another high-level how-to. Today's topic is automated ROI tracking. So I know as good as anyone it can be a pain to get our clients to enter in a value to show us exactly how much the ads we create are making them. So we have a simple little setup here that makes it extremely easy for them, and they can actually enter a value outside of the system and it's going to update all your stats for accurate attribution and ROI tracking. So it consists of four really simple to build components, just a small form with one custom field, a trigger link, and two single step workflows. So let me jump into an account here and we're going to go over how this works. And so I bet a lot of you have plenty of pipelines and accounts that look a lot like this. You have an astronomical number here, maybe no conversion rate here, and just a really bland dashboard with no lead source reporting or anything like that. And so I like my clients to be able to see accurate numbers here, not a lead value based on, each lead's worth $50 or something like that. I don't really care to have those numbers in here. We're not doing a pay per lead kind of deal anyway. That's the only time that might really be useful. And I want my clients to see how many customers or how many leads they're actually converting into a customer. So I want all these numbers to be as accurate as possible so our clients can just come in here quickly and see, okay, hey, if I change these dates, I can see exactly how much I've made this month. So it's not just some big number here that's theoretical. I want this number to actually match what the client has made. And I want them to have a nice lead source report here as well to show where everything is coming. So this is really simple to set up. With your triggers or workflows, you just put a source for where that lead came from, and each time one of those triggers is set off for the first time, it's going to create a new source for you, and so you'll have a nice list here. And when you have all these accurate tracking things in place, this is more what a dashboard would look like. You can see this client's got a ton of opportunities, but he's not closing enough. So we've got some really obvious things that we can work on in his sales process here. And this is what an accurate lead source report looks like. You can see our contact form, Google My Business Messages. This is actually Google Organic, and then Google Ads, which are our two main sources of leads. And so this is kind of more what an accurate dashboard should look like. And really quick, I'm going to take you through the simple build that we use to keep all of these numbers as accurate as possible. So for step one here, we need to create our ROI tracking form with a numerical custom field. So let's go back into our account here, and we're going to go to Form Builder and create a new form. Now I already have one, so I'm just going to show you this. And so this is what your form should look like. Just name it something with ROI tracking so that you know. And you can just drag over first name, last name, and phone number. And then I always like to add just text, just standard text here to let the clients know. This is just a note that all of these fields up here are going to auto-populate for them, and it's how the system knows to attribute this value to this contact because there's something we do with the trigger link that will get all of this to auto-populate for the clients, and so they can just enter the amount of sale here. So you will need to add one custom field. Come over to Custom Fields, Add Custom Field. And the most important part here is that you choose numerical and name your field. So you can name your field something similar to that just to let the clients know they're going to be entering the value of sale there, and you're going to save that custom field. And so it'll look like something like this, and you can just drag it over as your last step here. Now there are some important settings that need to be turned on for this field for it to operate properly. So over in Options, you don't need a thank you page or anything like that. You can just leave your clients a message letting them know that they completed it properly. And you need sticky contact to be turned off. That is also a really important part. So make sure sticky contact is turned off. And then you're going to save your form. And step one is complete. And so for step two, we're going to be creating what's called a trigger link. And this trigger link is going to include the link to the form that we just made, along with a specific query string here. And this query string is how we get the form to auto-populate for the client. So I'll provide this exact query string here so that you can just copy and paste it. and you'll paste it directly after your form link. So let's go build this trigger link really quick. And so the first thing we need to do is actually go back to our form builder, find our ROI tracking form, and we can actually just click on it. And we're going to go to integrate form and come over to link, and I just go ahead and open it up so that I can copy the whole link there. So just copy that to your clipboard, come back over to HighLevel, and now we're going to go to trigger links. And I already have mine, but we'll go ahead and make a new one. So just name this your ROI tracking trigger link. And we're going to paste our form link right here. But the next step, we need to go in and get the query string. So we need this whole little code right here. Copy that and paste it directly after the form link. And so now our trigger link is complete, and we will click save. And it should look something just like this with your lead connector widget. And at the end of that link, there's a question mark. You got first name, last name, and contact phone. So now step 2 is complete. And step 3 and step 4 are very similar. We're building just very straightforward one-step workflows. So for step 3, the first workflow, it's going to be based around pipeline stage changed, and we're going to send an internal email with our ROI trigger link that we just built. So now let's go do step 3. We're going to go into workflows, and we're going to create a workflow, start from scratch, and now we want to name it. And for our new trigger here, pipeline stage change to services sold. So now we're going to come down and find pipeline stage change right here. And we need to add a couple filters here so it's not firing off on every pipeline stage change. So let's add a filter in pipeline, and then choose your sales pipeline, whichever pipeline this is supposed to be for. And we're going to have one more filter for pipeline stage, and our stage is going to equal services sold. So it can be any stage you want. It's usually just a final stage, or you might have one more after it for send review request or something like that. But it should just be towards your second to last or your last pipeline stage. And so we're going to save that trigger. And now we're going to add our first and only action here. And you can just search for internal, send internal notification, email. And you can fill all this out with your agency information, because these emails are going to be going to your client. So they can come from, the client system or from your agency. Now the user type is going to depend on if there's multiple users in your system and they're getting leads assigned to them. So you're going to want to choose assigned user. Now if you only have one client that emails and stuff are going to, you can choose particular user. And you also have the option for custom email. So there's a few different options there. We choose assigned user so that whoever that lead was assigned to, and they'll be the ones to drag them to that service sold stage, they're also going to be the one to get the ROI tracking form so they can enter the amount of sale. So I choose assigned user, and for subject I always just put services sold to, contact name is custom value, and then enter sale value. And for the email, you can say something along these lines: contact name was moved to services sold stage, click the link and enter the amount of sale. That's all you need to do. Thank you. And then now we need to put our trigger link right here for our clients to click on. So trigger links, and we've got our ROI tracking form link right there. Now I always like to highlight this link and click the links up here. For URL, copy and paste the trigger link text there, and then here I choose to put ROI tracking form as the link text and open in a new window. Let's save that. And so now when our clients click that, it's going to open that form, it's going to populate the contacts data, and the client can just enter the sale value. So that's all we need for this workflow. We're going to save the action. We're going to publish and save our first workflow for step number 3. And the last and final step is workflow number 2. This one is going to base off of the form being submitted, and it's going to update the opportunity status as well as the lead value for that opportunity. So let's go build this final workflow. Let's add our first trigger. ROI tracking form submit. We're going to scroll down and find form submitted. And we need to add a filter for form is and select our ROI tracking form here. Services sold, ROI track. And we'll save that trigger and we'll add our action, which is going to be add or update opportunity. And I always change this to update just so we know it's not making a new one. And we need to select our pipeline. You can leave pipeline stage blank, and opportunity name and source should also stay blank. These should be populated earlier on in the system, so we'll leave those blank so they stay. Now lead value, this is an important one. So we're going to click this tag over here. We're going to go to contact and then custom fields. And then this needs to be our numerical custom field that we made for the ROI tracking form. So there we go. And then we also need to update the status as 1. And by marking the status 1, that's going to update our conversion rate on our dashboard, as well as our overall pipeline value once that gets entered here. So we're going to save that action, and we'll also publish and save. And that's the final step. So now you've got your ROI tracking system in place. Let's go put it to the test. So we're in our pipeline here, and let's take our lead over to the services sold stage. So we're going to drop it there. Now let's check on the email that should have sent out. And so here's our email, services sold to testman, enter sale value. Here's our email. We're going to click on this link. And you can see it opened our ROI tracking form, and all of the contacts information is already auto-populated, and that's from our query string that we put in on our trigger link. So here we can just enter a sale value. No numbers, no money symbols, anything like that. So you can put that in the notes for your clients if you want. It's in my training for my clients. So you just enter the number and click submit. Now let's go see what all this updated for us in our system. So we come back into our pipeline, and let's go over to services sold stage, and oh no, our lead disappeared. My clients tell me this all the time. And that just means that our system worked. It actually updated the status. So we need to change this open filter up here to all, or you can change it to 1. But if we change it to all, now we can see here, so that value has been added to this lead card, and it's also got the little 1 tag. And so if we go back to our dashboard, we can see, hey, our conversion rate's now 100%. We've converted our very first lead, and our pipeline value is now accurate. This is money we've actually made, not just some theoretical value based off of the value of each lead. And so that's our automated ROI tracking system. It's pretty straightforward. It keeps these numbers accurate so clients can come in here at any time and see exactly how much money you've made them. I always include in my onboarding documentation not to enter any values for leads, to leave that lead value empty. Now if a client wants to put in a price that they quoted somebody, we actually add another custom field for that so that they can put in their quoted price, or they can put it in the notes, but we tell them to leave the lead value empty to only update it from the ROI tracking form that gets emailed to them. And so that way this number is always accurate. Our clients can always come in and quickly see exactly how much money we've made them each month and what their sales conversion rate is. It keeps this really accurate, and we'll also have nice lead source reports down here as well. So let me know if you guys have any questions or any issues setting this up, And I'll also provide you with our little overview guide here with the 4 quick steps for setup. And yeah, like I said, just reach out if you have any questions.